Good afternoon, Manchester. We've got a huge panel right now. He's going to come out and talk to you. He's going to take the questions. We're going to go straight to the floor. You'll have me, Tony, and Tim with the mics in the crowd. Throw your hands up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Corey Taylor!
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention?
Manchester, what's up? Jesus Christ. All right, we got a lot of people here. Hey, everybody, how you doing? 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 Is everybody having a good time here at this very special convention? Yes. Oh, love you too, man. Joshua, good to see you, brother. All right, I am going to do my best to ruin every question that you have because it's me, and that's what I do. Where do we want to start?
Corey, over here. Corey, here.
Yeah.
In the audience, here.
I have no idea. There you are. There you are. Okay, we got you. All right. Make it good.
Hi, Corey. So basically, not long ago, Foo Fighters made a horror movie. I was just wondering if Slipknot were to do that, what ideas would you do?
If Slipknot made a horror movie, it would basically just be us being like flesh-eating amoebas or whatever in masks, just jumping around, you know? I mean, I've been trying to get my first done. I've been working on it for like the last 4 years. It's called Zombie vs. Ninja, and I've been working on that. It's very, very close to going into production. So, I mean, we've got everything going. Director, my buddy Tom Savini is going to do the effects. Me, Roy Mayorga, and Clown are going to do the soundtrack. It's a proper movie, and it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be horror, gonzo comedy, plenty of goo, and a lot of scares. So it's going to be rad. So yeah, that'll be close to like a semi. Hey, out of the gutters. There's kids here. So yeah, so look for that. Hopefully in the next year or two, man. All good.
You going down here?
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
How am I?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little smelly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a lot smelly. I mean, some of you guys know that, so.
Yeah. Just, it's not so much a question. I wrote you a letter yesterday, and just so everyone here knows the context of it, it's just basically me on behalf of everyone else as well, just to say thank you for being such a...
If you fuckers make me cry, I swear to God.
Thank you for being such a big voice of a generation and helping people such as myself find our own social groups and not conforming to the bullshit of what everyone expects us to be. And just thank you for everything you've done for the music industry and just everyone here. And one last thing, I just want to say, Slipknot forever, Paul Gray forever, Joey Jordison forever, and Corey motherfucking Taylor forever.
All right. God damn it. First off, that wasn't a question. It's all good. Listen, you have no idea what that means to me, and I will cry in front of every fucking one of you, but we will get nothing done. I'll give you a hug later. We're on the clock right now, okay? But I've spent a lot of my life doing this and giving everything I've got for each and every one of you, and you have no idea how much I appreciate that. So, thank you. All right, I need a question. I'm fucking starting to cry my eyes out here.
Corey?
Yeah, mate.
How's it going, dude? Hey, Corey, man. How's it going, man?
I mean, is that your question?
That's the question. So basically, Corey, what's your plan to do with Famous Monsters? And also, we can't fucking wait for In Search of Darkness Part 3, man.
Oh, right on. Okay. For those of you that don't know, I bought the legacy brand, Famous Monsters of Filmland, because it was something that I grew up reading. I grew up loving the work of Forrest Ackerman, Jim Warren, legends who basically put the foundation together for this, you know? I mean, Famous Monsters was the first horror convention. Famous Monsters was the first horror magazine. It was the first real spotlight for the things that we as fans grew up loving, whether it was back in 1958 when the first one came out, or right up until before he stopped publishing, which was in the mid 80s, I think. I think the last convention was in the 90s. But for me, my plan is to try and bring it back to prominence and show that horror is not just a series of genres. Yes, I mean, there are subgenres and there are subsections, but it is a world, it's a universe of things that we all celebrate. And because we are all part of that universe, we can draw a through line from that moment to this moment. So my job is to try and bring everything underneath that umbrella and make sure that Karloff's mummy can live with Fraser's mummy, that Lugosi's Dracula can live with the upcoming Dracula that has Nicolas Cage. What the fuck is that? And I can't be the only one who is so excited and confused by that. So for me, it's about showing the world that horror is not just a series of eras. It is one touchstone that we have all been able to come back to. And it's something that's touched all of us and has made us feel like we're not all fucking crazy. And that's gonna be the biggest mission for Famous Monsters. We're gonna relaunch the magazine as an annual or a biannual. We're going to try and put the spotlight on new artists, new filmmakers, try and get all of our friends who are in the music industry or in the horror industry to talk about how that magazine has touched them, and to just try to bring us all together and try and make the futures one that, you know, Famous Monsters can be. It's not just the past, it's about the future as well. So to modernize it and bring it back into this world. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. So stay tuned on that. All good, no worries, I appreciate that. And In Search of Darkness 3 is over 5 hours long. Fuck. That's like 1.5 Marvel movies. So, I'd see it in the theater, but I'd have to have a colostomy bag for fuck's sake. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it too. All right.
Okay,
Anyway,
Corey,
yes.
What we're going to do, we're going to bounce the questions between this half and that half.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come over here. Absolutely.
We've got one here.
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
Thank you for coming to see us
Oh
all.
no, thanks for having me.
My son's just started gigging and he wants to do some metal vocal.
Okay.
Can we have any advice or tips from the best yourself?
Well, I'm top 10, but I'll take that. My advice is to find a technique that does not hurt your voice. And it's very important to do that because I know a lot of people who develop the wrong technique and then they develop notes and then they ruin their voice, man, you know? And that was honestly when Griff started singing, that was the first thing I tried to teach him, was to find the growl that came naturally, not just the one that tried to sound hard, but get one that came naturally, still felt heavy, but then you could lean into, you know? And that takes time. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes trial and error. For me, mine didn't even really come together until I got into the studio with Ross, and he pushed me to just let go and stop thinking about it. And once I did that, that's when I was able to really develop one that I could sustain for the most part, you know? I mean, I've played around with different techniques and whatnot, but I've always been able to come back to that original one, and that's to kind of swell into it and just kind of this is my warm-up, and this is true. I do this before every show. This is my only warm-up. And that's it. And I fucking go on stage. And that's all I do. So if you can find something that helps you kind of keep it natural and keep it intense, but doesn't hurt, that's the way to go. Because that's the one that's going to stay with you forever. All right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Gotcha.
Hi, Corey.
Hey.
I'm just wondering, for me, you're my hero in the music industry.
Oh, well, thank you.
Who would have been your hero growing up?
I mean, I tell you what, man, I was very lucky to have several, man. I mean, there were people like Henry Rollins. There were people like James Hetfield. There were people like Trent Reznor. You know, it all came down, and there were different things that I loved about them. You know, I loved the fact that Alice Cooper was doing it for 50 years and still doing it better than certain dudes who are 20s. You know, I mean, he's just so rad, and he can go out and put on a 2-hour show. And fuck, man, he's in his 70s, for Christ's sakes, and he makes me look like a fucking asshole. I mean, it's amazing. There are writers, there are frontmen, there are performers, there are people who just have musical gifts that I've always looked up to, and I still do, actually. And that's just a very small handful of people that I looked up to. I mean, one of my musical heroes when I was young was Prince. I wanted to be Prince more than anything in the world. So much so that I used to walk around my neighborhood in a purple fucking robe. This is a true story. And I got my ass kicked, and someone stole it from me. And it was the worst day of my life to that point. It got worse after that. But to this day, he, to me, is still the high watermark as far as quality, as far as passion, as far as the fact that he could pick up any instrument and he was just a fucking virtuoso on it, man. And he could just write symphonies in his head, you know? So I still try to reach for that level of creativity, that hopefully that level of art, you know? All good. Yeah.
Hi, Corey.
Hello.
Hi. I'm wondering what for you is the importance of music in horror. It's just such a strong theme, and I think that's something that you're going to bring together massively, especially with saying that you're going to do the music with Clown and what have you for your next venture.
So what do I think is the special connection between music and horror? Oh, I mean, think about how quiet a horror movie would be without the music. I mean, to me, the music in a horror movie is that really that unsung, invisible villain that lets you know what's going on, you know? For me, the music in horror movies has influenced the way I write, the way to deal with tension, the way to lean into tension, the way that, and something that not a lot of newer music actually deals with, which is dynamics. And if you listen to really, really good, superior music in horror movies, there are valleys and peaks that pull you in and then explode on you. And that, to me, was one of the things that I tried to incorporate into music, like take a song like Purity, which is very much like that. It pulls you to the edge and then just fucking explodes on you, and you're just like, holy shit. And it's stuff like that that adds the drama, you know? You don't know whether or not you're supposed to be worried about it until that music lets you know, yes, you should absolutely be fucking worried about it. And when you feel that, you're just like, okay, I'm along for the ride now, and I know what's gonna happen. So I 100% think that it's so key for drama, for music, and for that tension to be in every horror movie. And when it's not done right, you can absolutely tell. All good. Yep. Yeah.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, bud.
Two questions. One, will you make another Christmas song?
Am I? And when am I gonna? I tell you what. I mean, the only reason I did Xmas was because all of the proceeds went to the Teenage Cancer Trust, which was rad. And I didn't realize how much people were gonna fucking love that song until they were like, "Why don't you play Christmas?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" So I don't know. I mean, I've got a really cool Thanksgiving one that is angry. I mean, because I think we've all been at that fucking dinner. So I don't know. I mean, it all comes down. I do a lot of stuff for charity, and for stuff like cancer and whatnot. So if the right opportunity presents itself, who fucking knows? I'll do a whole holiday album, and just make it just so. Oh, don't do that! I'm telling you right now. Blabbermouth, or it's like, Corey Taylor announces holiday album. It's like, oh, fuck. All right, we'll do it. All right, you said there was two questions, right?
Who would you say is the best guitar player in the band?
I'm sorry, what?
Who's the best guitar player in the band?
The best guitar player in the band? Well, it's certainly not me. I don't know if you guys were here Friday, but I was clamming like crazy, dude. I always surround myself with good guitarists so then I can fuck up all I want. And just fucking, and I call it jazz. We're just jazz, man. It's all good. All right, and I'm not gonna answer that, so fuck it. Yes?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite Slipknot mask? What was the inspiration for it? And I've heard that back in the early days that you apparently used to throw up in them from nerves. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not, this is not to brag. It is so awful. Because we as assholes, okay, Slipknot, we were so weird when we were younger. We were like baseball players or soccer players where they wouldn't wash their stuff. We didn't wash our masks, which just made it smell like a fucking chemical dump. And it was gross. So we would just throw up. Clown would be throwing feces all over the place. And then we just wouldn't wash them, so we'd put them on, and we're just like, oh, God, it was so bad. My favorite mask will probably be my All Hope Is Gone one, just because that was the first one that I really sat down and designed myself and really worked out all of the kinks and everything to make sure that I nailed it, But my new one is actually kind of a combination of all of the masks that I've had and a hint of Dr. Deckard from Nightbreed, which is something that I really wanted to go for. It's out. You all right? Somebody with a cold beer just grabbed somebody's boob. So yeah, so those are my favorites right now. Okay.
We're right over here.
Do you have like a favorite comfort horror movie that you watch when you're really low or feeling just a bit stressed out?
Where am I? What the fucking?
Corey, sorry. Right.
Fucking.
Hello.
Jesus, mate. Well, you went in the audience.
Sorry, I think I'm in another postcode.
Okay, we need a fucking spot to just follow you. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite comfort horror movie for when you're kind of feeling down or stressed? Or...
I have 5 that I go to, 100%. So my top 5, obviously Halloween '78. There's a lot of John Carpenter on this as well. I apologize in advance. His remake of The Thing is 100% amazing. Then we go to Cameron, Aliens. I know a lot of people don't consider this strictly horror, but when's the last time you watched it, man? It's a scary motherfucker, for real. From Dusk Till Dawn, which is one of my favorite all-time movies, bar none. And you guys will love this, Hot Fuzz, to this day, is so fucking good. Edgar Wright can do no fucking wrong, man. All right, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
If you could be, or could have been any horror film ever, what would you have been in?
Trick or Treat.
Ooh.
Not the modern one, but the one from the 80s with
Yeah.
Sammy Kerr. See, I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid because I just loved the fact that, and it was in an era when there was a lot of movies with fucking heavy metal coming out and they weren't great, but they were just good enough that you were just like, okay, I can fucking get down with this, you know? I wanted to be Sammy Kerr so much that my friends started calling me Ragman when I was a kid. And I was like, wait a minute, I wanted to be Sammy Kerr. You're nowhere near as cool as fucking Sammy Kerr. So they started calling me Ragman. I was like, oh, fuck it. So that would be the movie. And I always said if I had a chance to remake one and really go in on it, I'd have to convince all the young people what backwards masking is first. But I think I could figure it out. I'd love to remake that fucking movie. I think it'd be dope. Okay.
We're still at the back.
You, okay.
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
Hi. So we know that your love of horror films, classic horror films from the 70s and 80s is well documented, but there's been some really incredible horror films from the last 10 years that have come out, and I just want to know which one's your favorite and why.
Oh, fuck. And the last 10 years, Jesus Christ. I mean, Hereditary is the one that made me fucking, oh, dude. That movie made me sweat through the sheets in my bed. It was so uncomfortable, dude. And me and Alicia, we were like, let's put a fucking horror movie on, right? And we sat and we were just like, it was fucking, I was like, oh God. I mean, everybody knows that scene. I was so put off that I had to pause it and fucking walk around, man. I was like, it was a trip, dude. That movie, I mean, and I loved Midsommar too, but there was just something so rad about Hereditary because to me, I didn't know shit about it going into it. And by the end, I was just like, I can't unsee any of this. Oh my God. I mean, it was that level of holy shit, you know? So that one definitely is right at the top. All right, yep.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, buddy.
Just first of all, I just want to say thank you because through your music, I managed to meet the love of my life.
Aww.
That's how we met. We met at the Slipknot concert, and because you replied to me on Twitter, so thank you.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So my question to you is: I'm sure I read recently that you are potentially writing a novel. Is that true? And can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, well, for some of you who don't know, I actually started about a year ago, and there's actually a couple that I've started. But with my attention span, I just start to, oh, look at the kitty. I just get all fucking weird. The novel that I won't give too much away because I don't want to get too much in because I'm still trying to map it out, and I've only written the first 3 chapters. But it has to do with a psychic, a witch, a serial killer, and a demon. And it's as cool as you think. And it's weird, like the psychic develops this kind of psychic bond with the serial killer who doesn't realize he's psychic. So it's an interesting twist. And if I do it right, I have a plan to use the central characters in several other books. So if the first one doesn't suck, we'll see what happens. But no, don't say that. It very well could suck ass. However, I'll at least go, all right, well, we're not doing novels anymore. But that's the thing. I mean, you try it, if you have a taste for it, and you develop a talent for it, and if it's good, and if people dig it, then you can carry on and see how far you can take it. But if people go, yeah, you shouldn't do that anymore, I listen. I promise, I listen. It's only because you guys go and see my movies that I actually act as well. So there you go. All good.
We're over here at the front to your... Oh, sorry, we're over here.
God, you're killing me.
Dude, I'm sorry.
And you're in that shirt. You'd think I'd spot you from space, dude.
I didn't know.
Hi, Corey.
Hello.
It's very nice to meet you.
Oh, nice.
I just want to know, download next year. Is there any secrets? We'd love to see you again.
All right, I don't know if you caught that. The question was, is there any truth to the rumors of download next year? All right, everybody get your phones out. I'm gonna try and make this as clear as I can, okay? On my life, I can neither confirm nor deny I wish I could tell you that we're gonna be there. I really do. Unfortunately, I don't have that answer right now. So I will tell you when I can. There you go. That'll get people pissed off.
Okay,
All right.
Corey,
Anybody else? Somebody?
to your left at the back, over here, to your left
Yes.
at the back.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, Buzz.
So, me and my friend's favourite song of all time from Slipknot is Solway Firth. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. She actually has a lot of family from Solway Firth itself.
Right.
She always wanted to know what was the reasoning for the name of the song Solway Firth when it actually has no sort of connotation related to the actual place itself.
I have no idea. This is a true story. Jim wrote that music, but all the songs that he demoed for himself for the album all had ancient aliens names. So Solway Firth was just, because of the spaceman. All of the other names were weird, like fucking Aztec spaceship and all this other stuff. I was like, well, we're not keeping that. But then we got to Solway Firth, and the music was just so endearing that I just loved the name and the music going together. And so I tried to write that music from the standpoint of, kind of being on that hill in that picture in Solway Firth, because I didn't want to change the name, and trying to write from a standpoint of, kind of being in the middle of nowhere and trying to figure out your feelings and knowing that someday you're going to have to head into that battle to figure out how you feel about yourself, about life, and doing the right thing to get yourself out of a toxic situation. And it just kind of stuck. So in a way, it's almost kind of metaphoric. It has no idea, no connotation really to the place, but that state of mind where you find yourself there, it lent itself to Solway Firth. So I just kept the name from the demo. So you can thank Jim Rue for that, guys. There you go. All good. There.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm wondering what your favourite Vincent Price movie is.
That's a tough one, man. I mean, all the shit that he did with Roger Corman was amazing. Witchfinder General is probably one of my favorites. That movie is so dark, and it's so out of character for him, because usually he just kind of has that lighter feel to him, but in this movie, he's just like, killed them all. And you're just like, fucking hell. So that movie, I love old British horror anyway. I'm a massive Hammer fan. So anything that really had that kind of vibe to it, I was 100% it. Like Blood on Satan's Claw is one of the darkest fucking movies I've ever seen. So I love that whole era. Not just Vincent Price, but everything that kind of came out of this country. Okay.
Hi, Corey.
There you go.
Hi.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
A couple of questions.
Okay.
Not to do with horror.
Okay.
But what is your favourite lyric from any song that you've heard? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's your favourite lyric of all time? And what's your favourite lyric that you've written of all time?
Oh, shit. That's a good question. I have several. One of my favorite lyrics is actually by Scott Weiland, and it's in a song called Still Remains. And it's one of the most beautiful expressions of devotion that I'd ever heard in my life. When I first heard it, it blew my fucking mind. It said, if you should die before me, ask if you can bring a friend. And it knocked me on my fucking ass. I was just like, I was just like, that, nobody will ever top that. I just thought it was so poignant, and it spoke so much to how a soul can relate to a soul, So that's like the one that just comes off the top of my head. As far as my lyrics are concerned, I mean, I don't really have a favorite, you know? I have to be reminded of a lot of the shit that I write, you know? Because I'm just like, I've written so many songs now in so many different genres that sometimes people will come up and quote my lyrics to me, and I go, that's really good. Who wrote that? And they're like, you did, you prick. And I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, high five, you know? And it's just, you just kind of go on with it. By the way, can you see just how fucking curly my hair is right now? Jesus. I had product in it. And then the rain happened, and then the heat happened, and now I have like this poodle mohawk going on. Fuck. It's impossible for me to feel cool. So there's your answer. There you go. Anybody?
We're at the back again.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Corey.
Hey!
When I was like really small, little kid, really ignorant of music, hadn't discovered metal or anything like that. I picked up a copy of your album Iowa, with the goat on the cover, and it just looked really cool. I hadn't heard of Slipknot, didn't know what it was, and then took it home and I just listened to it over and over and over again.
How old were you?
I was under 10.
Who let you buy that fucking thing?
It was really weird. It was our local library. You could take CDs, and I saw that because I was a kid. I didn't have my own money. I couldn't buy CDs, and I just thought that looks cool. I'm getting that, and that just opened this whole world to me. It was like this isn't my parents' music. This is for me, and I'd probably speak for everyone here, for like a little kid without many friends, a lot of frustration and stuff like that. That really spoke to me and channeled it in such a healthy way, and then led to who I am today. Discovered this whole world. Was looking for. My question is, which album did that for you?
This is the visual version of TLDR. Which album did that for me? First of all, thank you for that. Second of all, I apologize, but your parents will probably be getting a call from Child Services. Jesus Christ. They let you listen to Iowa at 9 years old. Fuck. I mean, they might as well let you drive a car unsupervised as well. The album that did that for me, I mean, there was a combination, actually. It was Metallica, Master of Puppets. Because you have to remember, when I was a kid, I grew up very much a punk kid. So I listened to a lot of early punk rock. I was into hardcore at the time. But it was the hardcore that hadn't crossed into the metal side of it yet. I was also into hip hop. So I listened to a lot of what was called street music at the time. I didn't get into metal until Metallica and Slayer, actually, because those two bands reminded me of the ferocity of the music that I was listening to. And at the time, I was so angry and so full of unrequited pain that I needed something that was a little more urgent, a little more fucking violent. I needed that, And when I heard Metallica and Slayer, and then later on Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, like all those bands really put me in touch with the fact that, oh fuck, there's a straight line from punk to metal, especially speed metal, and in that interim, I found stuff like Iron Maiden, I found stuff like Black Sabbath. So it really came down to Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Slayer's South of Heaven. Like those two albums fucking blew my mind, dude. At that time, I hadn't heard anything that heavy in my life. And to this day, those are the two albums that I go to when I want to just put something on and just fucking go, so.
Okay, Corey at the back over here.
Yep, is it?
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
I think I speak for a large number of us here when we say your music has changed our lives completely. For the last 25 to 30 years, you've given a voice to the voiceless. So thank you for that. With you...
Oh, stop.
You know how important you are.
That's all good.
So, with that in mind, obviously, we're all part of the Slipknot family.
Right.
And you gave a little word there at the beginning to the people we've lost. For you, live especially, what is the hardest song emotionally to sing, considering who we've lost?
That I've written?
Yes.
With Slipknot.
Yes.
I mean, obviously Snuff is a tough one. And that one only recently has gotten easier. I think sometimes when I'm singing it by myself, it can kind of take me back to when I was playing it for everybody. I mean, especially Paul, who fucking loved that song, and that's why it reminds me of him. The other night, Friday, when we played that, there was such a reaction to it that it put me in that headspace, and I almost started fucking bawling just in the middle of the song. It's one of those songs that I can see exactly where I was when we were putting it together, and several different things, and how key Paul was, how key Joey was in helping me get it to an incredibly creative place, you know? They believed in it, and because they believed in it, the rest of the guys in the band listened to it, and we were able to create something really, really cool, you know? So that song, it's not hard for me to sing, but I can feel it in every part of my body when I sing that song, and it takes me someplace where I just want to scream to the heavens, but I also want to sing to everyone below. So that's the one song that really, really sticks with me.
I think we've run out of time.
But that's it?
That's it, we've run out of time.
Well, guys, I hope you had a good time. I'm sure I will fucking see some of you over there. Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys. Thank you so much.